What's up, everybody? This is Jed Johnson from DieselCrew.com. Of course, you know they call me Napalm. And this is video number 20, already to 20 in the 31 days of Q&A here at the YouTube channel. Reminder, everybody, check out thegripauthority.com. You would not believe the level of information I have for you there. 12 plus years of information there at that website. I can't even begin to tell you all the stuff. Probably 1,000 posts there on grip strength, grip sport, grip feats, and general grip training, sport-specific training, strongman training. It's all there. Check it out today. There's a link in the description box below. Today's question comes from Alan Hynek, and he says, Jed, many people that struggle to make gains might wonder this. How do I know if I'm training hard enough? There's lots of ways to know if you're training hard enough, but I can tell you the best way right now is to get yourself one of these, or something similar, and start tracking your workouts. And then if you see that your numbers, your performance numbers are not going up, then there's something wrong. See, what I think about with this question is, back when I was a young lad, 12, 13 years old, I used to play a ton of Nintendo. And I used to track stats for the baseball game, Bases Loaded 2, second season. And at the end of each game, when you're playing in the season mode, it would have a biorhythm. And this biorhythm was this like graph kind of thing where like it had the lines going up and down, and you could see that, you know, each of your starting players had a biorhythm. You could see how they were feeling. All right, so that line, the way that line was shaped would show you how they're doing, because when they were in a slump, their biorhythm looked like crap. When they are hitting the cover off the ball, their biorhythm looked better. So you could look at that after each game, and you could know whether you needed to put someone in, put a sub in for one of those people, move them down in the order, etc. So a training book like this is really like an analog version of a biorhythm, because you can see from week to week how you're making out with the training that you're doing. It can be tough to remember everything by memory. I can't do it. I've never been able to do it. But around 2017, I really started using a notebook religiously, and it's made all the difference ever since. Believe it or not, before 2017, there were only short periods of time where I wrote everything down. Other than that, I was going commando and free balling it all the time and really had no idea how well I was progressing at any time. Consequently, before that, I also had a lot of injuries, and I was always dealing with something, and I think a lot of times it was because I was not keeping a good eye on my volume. I would overdo it, overtrain, and then I would start sliding, and then I would start stressing, and then I would push even harder, and the results would come even slower. This is how you do it, guys. Track your training. What I've often been doing lately in the last 2 years is I'll take a piece of paper like this, and I'll write down the training days that I've got available, and I'll put down what I want to do on those days, what drills I'm going to be doing based on the lifts that I'm working on, and then I will put those into the book from there. So if I map out 3 grip days, because that's what I have right now, I know that I want to accomplish these 5 or 6 things on this day, maybe 6 or 7 things on this day, maybe 8 or 10 things on this day. And then I will put them into the book, and then each day that it's time to come back to that same day of the week, I'll go in there and write them down again. I'll see where I was, and I'll have an idea of what I'm going to do the next time. But if I see that my numbers are starting to stagnate or slide, then I know that something has to change. So training hard enough. Training hard is not nearly as important as documenting and monitoring how things are going. If your numbers are going up, then you're training hard enough. What you might then do is to try to train a little bit harder, maybe to do a little bit higher percentages, more volume, more sets, things along those lines. But if you start stagnating or sliding back, that means you're trying to do too much. Most likely your body is not recovering from what you're trying to do, and you need to scale it back a little bit. The other thing is, if you want to think about it the other way. If you have periods where things are seeming real easy and you're going up very quickly, maybe you started too slow, or maybe you can afford to push a little harder. But it's very important to always be looking back, comparing, and using that tool. If you're not writing stuff down, you're making a big mistake. I made a big mistake for 15 years, guys. 15 years. Didn't track shit. So make sure you're tracking. That's how you know that you're training hard enough. You don't want to gauge it by soreness. You don't want to gauge it by PRs. You want to gauge it, you want to track stuff by consistent increases across the board and bettered performance as you're going along for weeks and months at a time. Because when you put weeks and months together, then you're putting years together. You're putting entire seasons together. You're putting major feats together. You're stringing along successes, and that's going to be the biggest benefit to your training. I hope this has been helpful. If so, give it one of these. If you have any more questions, we're getting right down to the end here. I need good questions. Some of this stuff I don't even know if I want to cover because the questions are too rudimentary and nobody's going to get anything out of them. So give me good questions. Give me stuff that people want to see. It doesn't have to be about training. We had some other good stuff this month on the wrestlers, I think, that might be number 4 closers. Things along those lines. Give me some good questions. Leave them in the comments section below. Participation has really been going great. I appreciate everyone doing that. I would say that in my little pocket of YouTube, we've had some really good engagement and probably fed the algorithms with some good stuff. So give it one of these, leave your comments below, make sure to subscribe, share it with your friends who might be interested in this, and do not forget to go to the description box and look up thegripauthority.com. Join today. First month is only $1. All the best in your training, everybody. Take care.